now.
Okay, we've got Justin Dunk now. CHCH TV Studios is where he's at from 3downnation.com. Are you getting tired of being asked if they're going to play or not?
Yes. How about that?
I literally have to tell people I can't give you an answer because the CFL doesn't know if they're going to play or not.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, good morning, Canada, Canadian sports fans around the world. Welcome to the RP Show as we set sail on a brand new week here on Canada's daytime sports talk show. And your favorite, I might add. We're the only one. That's an easy one to say. That's a bold comment there. Rod here, Dubes there. I'll say it again. I'm Scooby. He's Shaggy. People are starting to ask me when you're going to get a haircut.
I know. Take the over under. I would take the over.
We get very Fabio
for right now
over there.
Yeah. We'll see. Right now, you go through mid stages. Right now, I'm okay with
it. Good stuff. I'm glad that we're in a good mood. I've already put the summer student in his place, told him to can his predictions. You, sir, have no future in sports gaming.
Long way to go, Ryan.
Long way. Yeah, he's young. He's starting out of the blocks. Not great, though. Hey, did you have a good weekend?
I had a great weekend.
Wasn't that awesome?
That was so good.
Well, actually, that'll be reflected in our quick six show topics. But hang on. Here's a big guest list today. Montreal Alouettes quarterback Vernon Adams Jr. is going to be joining us. And he's had a lot to say, particularly lately, like over the last 24, 48, 72 hours. Vernon Adams Jr., Montreal Alouettes quarterback, is going to be with us live in hour one. Jason LaBarbera, this one right out of left field. Producer Clark said, would you take Jason LaBarbera on the show? Absolutely. Former NHL goalie, former Portland Winterhawk. And I had a guy tell me yesterday that Portland is the best city to play in junior hockey.
I believe it.
I don't doubt it, but I said, listen, there's a lot of great junior hockey cities, but I could see how the Rose City would be top 3 maybe in the dub. We'll ask Jason LaBarbera that. Also coming up, Simon Fudge, our soccer insider, and Kirk Morrison of Krugo, the app Krugo. They got the big Krugo Fest coming up. I want to say this about Simon Fudge, though. Ever since the Canadian teams did a face plant at the MLS's back, you saw it just...
Yeah.
As far as Canada's following MLS's back.
Right.
Are they still back?
Yeah, I know, right?
No, are they?
I don't know because I haven't been following it.
Okay, so let's go with the quick six show topics today. What do you say, Jordan? Let's hit it. Hit it. And I've got several more topics than just the 6, but these are the 6 in my mind in no particular order. Just throw them up in the air and wherever they land, okay? But number 1, Monday's NHL playoff games. We will be spending some time talking on that today. Carolina won. These were all the winners, as if you don't know. Carolina, Winnipeg, Tampa Bay, Vegas, Pittsburgh, and Edmonton. We'll talk about those games. I don't know if you saw your Leafs lost Sunday. Mitch Marner didn't register a shot on goal.
He played?
And John Tavares had two shots on goal.
I didn't know that Mitch played. I didn't see him in the game.
Point 2, the CFL throws a Hail Mary. That story came out Monday from the Canadian press that the CFL has now lowered its ask from the federal government for $30 million and an interest-free loan. And Justin Trudeau's mulling that over. I'm not confident that the CFL is going to get it. But as I tweeted earlier this morning, the reset isn't going to be as painful for the Canadian Football League as you all think. So stick with me, and I'll get into that. My phone's been busy over the last 3-4 days on the long weekend. I did tell you what's coming, though.
Oh, yeah.
You like the idea of the CFL reset.
I love it.
Not going to be anywhere near as painful as you think, folks. It's going to be painful for some.
Oh, yeah.
But it always is.
Yeah.
Not painful for us or the fans. Point 3, The Rock buys the XFL. Everybody's talking about that, if you've noticed. And... of course, we immediately think the CFL's missed the boat on The Rock being an investor in the CFL. That was my first thought when I saw it come on my notifications from the Bleacher Report app. What was your first thought when you saw The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, bought the XFL?
The XFL's not dead. That was my first thought.
Really?
It's not dead. That he's not buying it for it not to come back in some shape or form. And The Rock doesn't usually lose at things. No. He doesn't strike me as somebody who's unsuccessful when he puts his heart and his energy into a venture.
I think that the XFL, while they'll never financially rival the NFL, we're all going to be watching. And I can just see The Rock strolling into an XFL stadium just like Vince McMahon, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That'll be The Rock. He'll be the man.
Spencer Strasmore.
Running his own league.
Can you imagine?
Could have been him in the CFL. But anyways, listen, the CFL's not going to need it. I'm coming back on that. Point 4, should Major League Baseball be playing? You see more outbreaks on other teams in the majors. The Blue Jays finally getting back to playing today, but I think they do have to play. You see people are saying it's irresponsible and so forth. Well, I'll go back to what I've been saying for months. We just can't be sitting around on our butts for 2 years. Sorry. I know the health and public safety people would like the world to sit around on our butts for 2 years and wait for it to pass. It's not possible. So I think Major League Baseball is doing the right thing by playing. Could it have been handled a little better? Probably. But could a lot of things have been handled better in the pandemic by everybody? So let's stand back and stop waving our fingers at the MLB for trying to do what they think is best. Point 5, tonight at the CEBL Summer Series, Canadian Elite Basketball League, it's the Saskatchewan Rush versus the Hamilton Honey Badgers. That's a very big game. We're getting into must-win territory for the Saskatchewan Rattlers. And the Honey Badgers are okay. And Ottawa versus Niagara, that's the other game. One for us lacrosse fans. I'm an NLL season ticket holder. Free agency opened yesterday, and the Saskatchewan Rush signed Adrian Sorichetti. You'd remember him. He's won 3 championships with the Rush. Lost him in the expansion draft to San Diego, and he's coming back to Saskatchewan. How many choose Saskatchewan over San Diego?
Not many.
Not many. So Adrian Sorichetti might be the rock star of the day today.
That's the Rush. That's Derek Keenan.
Richie Leone writing in, the Ottawa punter, and we continue to appreciate your support, Richie. He says, I would play in the CFL over the XFL every single day of the week. No culture in the XFL. The CHL is rich in history and great culture. I would suggest they're both great. The XFL's building something. I've got friends that have played in the XFL, and they loved it. It's fun to be part of building something. Right? Nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong.
Right.
That's one thing we found about this show. Nobody even tried. So those are the quick 6, but I got more. At the end of the show, there will be a test for the Rockstar of the Day for Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. Friday, Greg Ellingson won. I think the sun shines on Greg Ellingson most days.
I would think so.
What a great guy.
Oh, yeah.
Shaq Evans, star wide receiver of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, has set his own personal deadline of this Friday for the CFL for a decision. And if he doesn't have a decision from the CFL by Friday, he's moving on with at least this year, maybe his life. But he did have NFL workouts in the offseason, so I don't think Shaq's career's over. He's just going to move on to the next thing. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their players have admitted to being starstruck by Tom Brady walking into the facility. We've been talking about that for a couple of weeks, but how long do you think it'll take them to get over that?
It never will.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think it ever will. Guys will get more used to it, but every once in a while it'll hit them that that's Tom Brady. And just the way he does things and go about his life, I mean, there's a reason that you're at the top, and it's every day, day after day, consistency, and he does things that nobody else does, even at the NFL level, and they'll continue to be.
It's exciting to watch.
Very.
Speaking of exciting, couple people writing in on the Facebook Live wall. Jeff Krieger says, Rod, how was your weekend in Estevan? Which ties in with Rob Johnston's comment. NASCAR update, Brad Keselowski, bad Brad Keselowski wins at Martinsville Speedway Sunday. The racing was outstanding. I was there at the sold-out Estevan Motor Speedway. Clark's got the photos. I dropped the green flag at another race. What a beautiful track.
Wow.
What a beautiful summer night. And everybody told me, look, if you're going to go to the Regina Kings Park Speedway, there he is, yours truly, dropping the green flag. I could talk for hours on that.
I love the Instagram story where you looked at not me in the flag stand. That was pretty good.
Now this is and there you go. That last photo was of Mike Belkin, racing legend out of Winnipeg. His daughter, there you go. His daughter's Amber Belkin, female race car driver, and the fiance of Jordan Reeves, Rough Riders defensive end. So there you go. I could go for hours on that. And how when the races were over, they flipped the pits open, let kids in, their parents. Hey, come meet the drivers. Climb up on the cars. Take a picture for your Instagram and your Facebook and whatever your social media platform of choice is. And there's food trucks there. I'm like, this is unbelievable. I never thought I'd ever see this in sport again. Engagement between the competitors and the fans. It was amazing. But I got a lot to get to here. So thank you, Estevan, for the invite. I'll be back probably by the end of the month. Raptors 2-0 at NBA return to play. They look fantastic, even without Kawhi. And one point I should have put in my quick six: CFL players. I got a lot of backlash in my column Monday that I said if I was a CFL player when it comes back, I would do nothing for free. Nothing. No fan events, no community appearances, nothing for free. And boy, did I get a backlash from people, as you can well imagine. Mostly teams.
Yeah.
I want to change my wording of that. CFL players shouldn't be expected to do anything for free, because I made a career of doing a lot of free things, and a lot of things have come back. It's how you build a brand. But the players should at least have a choice. Hey, Max, we'd like you to go to the hospital today to do this visit. If you don't want to, you don't have to. There's a couple $100 in it for you. Now, listen, maybe the hospital's not the best example, but whether it be a school or some sort of gathering, people are saying, what if the players don't want to come on your show unless they're paid? I would say that's their choice. We'll get somebody that will. As we've learned in life, in relationships, there is a little thing about power. And I'm saying the players should take their power back from the teams and have the choice to say no. Because when you do these community appearances, the hospital visits, you actually end up getting at least as much back as the people you visit. That part is true. But they shouldn't be forced to go for free. Is that a little better of a tweak of the wording?
That's a better tweak, yep. I like that a lot. But everybody just wants to think about themselves.
Of course.
You know, you shouldn't be expected to work for free. Shouldn't be expected to work for free. Or, you know, they should do it because we're paying them so much money that they should do this for free because they're making so much money. Well, they're making money for the job that they do. Just like you get paid to go to work. Should you do overtime for free? Right? It's your choice if you want to stay.
Should be their choice.
And put in extra time. But if I want you to do it, you should have the choice to do it or not to do it.
Just tweaking that. Players should not be expected to do things for free. They should be given the option, but ideally it would be nice if you did flip them a few bucks, because as we all know, they're not being flipped any bucks now. So to the CFL Reset, which everybody is on the edge of their seats for, that I said that I was going to talk about here today on Game Plus on the RP show, and we're going to do it in this rollout here for Flooring Superstore. I don't really know where to start, but in piecing through all of the conversations that I've had with pro football personalities in both Canada and America, this is what I believe is going to happen. There will be a cash influx into the Canadian Football League. It's not going to come from the federal government. It's not going to come from the National Football League. It's going to come from Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, MLSE. Now, a month ago, a football guy called me from the States. He's a former Argos employee, and he said, MLSE is running the CFL. Get used to it. And I didn't really grasp it at the time, Darren. And he said, you watch. You go back and look at any Argo home game, and how many times you see Commissioner Randy Ambrosie in the MLSE suite at BMO Field. They're forming a partnership. And I'm actually believing this. The more when I'm putting two and two together. If there's no season in 2020, and not too many people think there will be, you know there's the clause in the CBA that says all contracts become null and void.
Yep.
So when we're talking about a financial reset, these bad contracts for the CFL, they're great for Mike Riley and Bo Levi Mitchell, but they'll become null and void. You're starting over. It's in the CBA. There's a lot of people in the league on the owners and governors' side that want to see this happen, the reset. And those top-heavy salaries that we talk about, you're going to start to see a lot of people jumping before they get pushed because they're seeing the writing on the wall. So all of a sudden, you're not firing people. You're not paying out severance. They jumped. When they go to be replaced, the salaries are going to be far less, maybe 50% of what they were. And when there is no season in 2020, you're going to see a wave of layoffs at every level, probably even in the head office. And when they come back, not as many will come back. And so while I said it's not going to be as painful as you think, it's going to be painful for some, but it's not going to be as hard as you think. MLSE will be wagging the dog here. They'll be infusing the cash. It's not going to be NFL Canada. MLSE understands the importance of Canada in the Canadian Football League. They get it. So if this happens, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I'm piecing everything together of what people I talk to. How would you feel that if it was, in a way, corporately owned by MLSE, but nothing else changes? Not the rules, not the field dimensions, not the teams, not the ratio. Nothing changes. But MLSE really is your daddy. I'd take it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. I mean, your team is still going to be your team, right? I mean, I would understand that the riders would still be community owned and all those types of things, likely. But I mean, the league is the league. As long as things are put in place, the rules are there, the game is there, everything's sanctioned. They put a schedule together, and they do a great job marketing it. Nothing's going to change for the fans. Nothing will change for the riders. The way you enjoy your team, the way it looks, everything like that. Nothing will change. So I like it. I'm okay with it. It's not about being butthurt that it's owned out of Toronto or a big conglomerate owns it. Again, your experience won't change, so I'm cool.
Captain Harvey Ryder's watching from North Battleford, and he says, I think a reset is the best thing that could happen to the league. Oh, it has to happen. There's no doubt. As a matter of fact, I should have written down all the quotes from the phone conversations that I had this weekend, but one was that the federal government isn't interested in throwing money at black holes. And right now, the CFL's a black hole. You can't point to any numbers that would make you want to invest. Think of the federal government as a private investor. Would you put your money into the business model?
Not yet.
That is the CFL as it is? No. Now, it would be nice if The Rock were involved. He is CFL alum. That ship has clearly sailed. And we don't necessarily need him. For all of you that hate America and the concept of American infusion, NFL Canada, you would get your wish under this scenario. And by the way, the people that I've been talking to, I trust every single one of them. They're not Rudy Poos. They're not Morley boys. This is where I believe the CFL's going. And I don't have a problem with it. I was anti-MLSE. You guys are all Leafs fans until they won a Larry O'Brien trophy with the Raptors. They have now demonstrated that they know how to win. And this would be a win for the Canadian Football League. Oh, and by the way, Randy Ambrosie would stay commissioner. He's going to throw that out there, too.
And that's not a bad thing.
No.
Of course not.
As I'm getting these conversations, or part of these conversations, I'm like, kind of glad I've had Randy Ambrosie's back through all of this. Don't forget, Randy. What?
Nothing.
Are we in a break window yet? Okay, 3 minutes away. Let's take a timeout and come back with a sports update and Vernon Adams Jr. That is a lot to digest this morning.
Yes.
Go fill up your coffee, and these are the themes throughout this show. Vernon Adams Jr. coming up, Jason LaBarbera, Simon Fudge, and Kirk Morrison from Krugo Fest. So hang on. It's the RP Show around North America on Game Plus TV, and listen live around the world at rodpeterson.com.
You're watching Rod Peterson On Demand. For more of The Rod Peterson Show, visit rodpeterson.com or follow Rod Peterson on social media.